Oh, listen to that under the sea.
Arthur Curry.
Yeah.
So it was Aquaman.
Yeah. And it was the best Parts of the Caribbean movie since the first one.
That's terrible. It's the best DC movie since Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Although the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie also had the Trident of Destiny, whatever thing.
Poseidon's Trident.
Yes, Poseidon, exactly. So, you know, closest thing I got is it's not really, it's DC though, but you know.
You didn't need to hit me with it.
But the Trident in this one looked a lot nicer than the one in that movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, so. Yeah, basically it starts with this this
It's
guy.
good, and we're done.
It starts with this guy who runs a lighthouse, and then this lady washes up on the shore, and he, first she's like, alien world, throw my trident at the TV, and then, but then he nurses her back to health, and then they get fall in love, and they have a kid, and then the kid goes to an aquarium, and then generic bullies, but then he starts summoning the sharks to start attacking the glass, but then then he stops the sharks, and then I'm just motor mouthing now.
Yes, you are.
Because there's a lot of stuff in this movie to talk about.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about everything.
But yeah, basically, origin story.
Yeah. It takes place after Justice League. Because they reference Justice League at least once.
Well, yeah, well, I mean...
the main time, the main part of the story takes place after Justice League.
Yeah.
Because they reference he saved the world.
Yeah.
And they were like, you saved the world to save Atlantis. He's like, I didn't save Atlantis. Atlantis. It's stupid. It's Kingdom of Atlantis, but the queen is named Atlanta. It's like
the like in Futurama, the hidden city of Atlanta, which is an actual city in Florida.
Even though it's actually in Georgia.
Oh,
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh well, that tells you how much I know about America. Canada, eh? Anyway.
No, you're just stupid.
Anyway,
But he has to save Atlantis from his brother Orm.
So, oh, there's another thing we have to mention. Before that all happens, he stops some modern pirates.
Yes.
Like, not the R kind of pirates, though, more like the,
Somalian pirates.
Yeah.
From stealing whatever's on a submarine. He beats the crap out of him, and one of the guys distractedly, "Screw you! I'm gonna shoot a grenade launcher at you."
Yeah.
Where'd you put on a grenade launcher? Whatever. But the story of the two of them is like the dad gives his old knife to the son, who's called the Manta, or just Manta, his nickname.
Yeah.
And then Aquaman kicks the crap out of them. They set off a grenade went out, blew the hull of the submarine.
And then the dad gets trapped under a torpedo, and
Aquaman has the option to save him, and the son's like, "Save him, please!"
And he was like,
You
guys
killed
murdered innocent
countless
people. The sea will judge your fate," or something like that.
You haven't earned mercy, or something like that.
Yeah, something like
or
that.
you beg for mercy. Blah,
Beg,
blah, blah.
beg the sea for mercy, or something like that. It's basically this.
No, I'm not going to save you.
Yeah. And I'll whisper, "No."
But that came back to haunt him.
Obviously, because, character arc.
Because the Manta turned out working for Orm.
Well, yeah.
And then Orm wouldn't let him have Aquaman, but eventually they realized they teamed up again, and he gave him some experimental Atlantean tech that he used and spray painted back because he's edgy. And also African American, but that doesn't matter.
Because, we had to have an Iron Man making of the suit kind of montage.
Yeah, and he called himself Black Manta, so he's Black Manta from the comics.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know enough about Aquaman's comic book history to know what they changed, but the only thing, because I looked it up after, is they changed Orm's backstory from being fully human and hating Aquaman to being fully Atlantean and hating Aquaman.
So, you know.
Slight change, but necessary for the story.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned that, like, in the comics, Arthur Curry Aquaman is like a white blonde guy, but...
Yeah.
But in this,
he's Jason Momoa, and he's Samoan.
Yeah.
And muscular, he's ripped and
covered in tattoos, and you know, like The Rock.
But Orm is in the story. Orm is the guy who looks like Aquaman from the comics.
Yeah.
Bright blonde, platinum blonde hair, and white skinned, and played by somebody I can't remember.
Mm.
And we also have Willem Dafoe as an advisor.
Yeah, and not trying to hunt down Spider-Man.
Well, they're not in Marvel, so he can't do that.
Mm.
I don't think DC has an equivalent to Spider-Man other than, like, anyone who has any Spider-Man-based powers.
Mm. I mean, people often compare Spider-Man to Batman because they both have their colorful rogues gallery, but other than that...
Though Batman draws more comparison to Iron Man than Spider-Man. They're both rich billionaires who both made their own stuff.
Let's get back to this movie.
You brought it up. Oh wait, I did brought it up.
Anyway, so yeah, basically the Orm wants to wage war against the human world because of all the garbage they dumped in the ocean, the pollution and the war submarines and all that, and
he needs to unite the 7 kingdoms of Atlantis before he can do it, and there are only like 4 kingdoms left because like 1 is in the trenches, 2 of them are ceased to exist, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, one of them ended up. It used to be under the water, but then became the Sahara Desert because I think actually, yeah, at one point the Sahara Desert was all ocean. That's why it's desert now. But you know, and so they, you know.
Yeah. At the start of the story, he's aligning himself with one of the other humanoid tribes who the king's daughter he's going to marry, but she goes to try and convince Aquaman to save everyone.
Yeah.
And blah, 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 blah. And then they go after people that are more like mermen.
Yeah.
People.
The fishermen, they're called,
Yeah.
which is an interesting name for the...
Appropriate. A bit too appropriate.
Yeah.
But he kills the king and then has the princess join him.
Yeah, and she looks to be like, maybe like just...
A teenager.
No, younger than that. She the way that the performance looked younger than a teenager.
Yeah, you never know.
Who cares?
She could be a teenager.
Minor detail. Anyway,
but then they go looking for this legendary trident that allows you to rule the oceans and
because this isn't Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, and they went to Italy.
Yeah.
Oh, and they went to the Sahara Desert.
Well, yeah. That's
basically, a lot of this movie was like, you know, fetch quest.
Yeah, it is just a fetch quest.
A cool fetch quest, but
lots of fighting and lots of cool stuff underwater, under the sea.
Yeah, and then
downwards better, take it from me.
Yeah, but then yeah, we had some cool fight scenes in.
And then Black Manta showed up, beat the crap out of him because
all through Sicily.
Yeah, it was shown earlier that Manta's normal weapons, like normal human weapons, can't harm Aquaman.
Kind of like just with Asgardians in Marvel.
Mm-hmm. So he literally says Atlantean steel, which he can harm Aquaman with, and comes pretty close.
So like Uru in...
It's not Marvel, shut up!
Comic books is all the same.
It's not the same. Technically it's not the same, but sure, they rip off each other all the time.
But yeah, so...
Oh, and some of the guards are tracking Mara, who's joined with him, because Hurricane fictions they felt like they keep changing. Like one moment she's like, oh, we have to have you be king, and then she goes to her father. She's like, I hate the surface world as much as you do. I'm like, where is like, just
character arc.
Really sporadic character arc that didn't really make much sense, but it's just excuses for her to be a badass because she was a badass.
Yeah, and especially in one fight scene in the Sicily part where she
weaponizes wine.
Yeah, well, because her one of her powers is she can manipulate water. You know, like aquakinesis, I guess you could call it.
Something.
In the same way Magneto manipulates metal, she manipulates water. So, she's a waterbender. That's what she is. She's a waterbender. But she did this with wine.
Yeah, she turned wine into spikes. I'm like, look, I know wine is poisonous to you, but I never thought it would kill you that literally.
I mean, well, you have to drink a lot of wine for it to.
Or just get stabbed in the chest with it.
and then shortly after that, one of the Atlantean guards trying to hunt her down for treason. She takes off his helmet, but
she cut. Well, that was before that, but she cut his cord, so he had to find water, so he stuck his head in the toilet.
Yeah, that was one thing that confused me though. Some Atlanteans can breathe air and some can't.
They said it's like the high rank, like royalty can breathe air.
Oh.
It's like the high-ranking people can breathe air, but the lower people, I guess, can't breathe air.
Okay, that's the lazy
that's
writing. That's
what the movie said.
A little bit of lazy writing there, but
you gotta come up with some way for her to beat them.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, she also chopped off the guy's hand.
Yeah.
In the fight scene, she just stump grew over, but with like water instead of tissue.
Yeah.
So I guess they're made out of water. I don't know what that exactly what that entails.
Like Vaporeon. But anyway, yeah, and then the final kingdom that the Atlanteans need to conquer is the nation of crab people,
yes.
Giant enemy crab people that live on top of like a volcanic vent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of underwater lava in this movie, and it looks freaking cool.
Yeah.
Even though in real life, lava, as soon as it hits water, it instantly turns cools and stops being lava. Turns to rock. Turns to granite, actually.
Aquaman challenged Orm to a fight for the throne, and he got beat the crap out of, and they had to escape and find the trident. So they're like Sahara Desert led them to the place where they need to set this thing that's apparently the last message of the former king or whatever, the guy who held the trident.
Yeah. So and
they had to activate it by water. So she pulled water from his forehead,
some sweat from his forehead,
and drip on it. And he's like,
I could have just peed on it.
Show off. I could.
I could just peed on it,
dude. Really?
And then her face just like,
yeah. But then they had to go to Italy to find
to have a fight scene with Manta and a bunch of
also they had to find the next place to go to, which they had to figure out the one true king will show them the way.
Because this isn't Pirates of the Caribbean 5.
But
we have to keep reminding you of that. This isn't Pirates of the Caribbean 5.
You can shut up about it whenever you want.
I know.
Shut up. But it's like this one guy who was the first king of Rome or whatever.
Romulus.
Yeah.
We also have to remind you, this isn't Star Trek. Of course, Romulus was inspired by the ancient Rome, the name anyway, at least. So was Vulcan, actually. The Vulcan was inspired by things from ancient Greek and Roman thought. Anyway.
So then they had to go to this set of islands after he beat the crap out of Black Manta and broke his helmet and.
Yeah.
And then they freaking stole a boat. I like that little bit. He's like, "Did you steal this boat?"
And she's like,
"These boats are not free to use." No, they're owned by people.
But I'm thinking, well, is that really such a big a deal when in your fight you trashed half of the city anyway? I mean, that boat may cost, like, at most, $10,000. You probably did, like, a couple million in damage.
Well, the soldiers did most of the damage. He literally ran straight through a whole house. Just keep running.
Yeah, man, but the thing...
breaking the walls, freaking...
I'm just saying, after all that, I don't know if they're really going to miss one dingy little boat like that. The thing looked like it was about to hit the trash heap anyway.
Still funny line.
Yeah.
Still amusing. But then they have to get into the trenches where earlier in the movie they told us that his mother Atlanta was executed.
Foreshadowing.
Executed by being thrown into the trenches.
Basically, this was one of the kingdoms that one of the original 7 kingdoms. But this one, instead of like dying like the other 2, they turned savage into these savage animal creatures that just eat everything.
And also don't like light, because they live in a trench where there is no light.
Yeah.
So their weakness is light.
I mean, it makes sense, you know.
Yeah, they probably don't have eyelids, so they can't blink and all that stuff.
But, well, actually, a lot of undersea creatures in real life, you know, light actually kind of, they're not used to it, so... Then again, they don't have eyes, as we know, so they wouldn't even see whatever. And anyway,
they need
angular fish.
They need an excuse to beat them. So
yeah, but also they didn't outright say it by name, but by trench, I'm assuming they mean the Mariana Trench, the famously deepest part of the ocean, which goes down whopping I think 7 kilometers.
But they eventually make their way through to a point where there is light, which leads to a spinning vortex of impending doom.
Yeah.
Also a portal.
Yeah.
Somehow to the center of the earth.
Because Naboo.
Oh
yeah, that's another thing that you know that this movie won up the Gungan underwater Gungan city scene, because basically that's kind of what Atlanta is, but on steroids.
But they end up finding his mother, who, shock of all shocks, actually survived and fought off the fish and landed in the center of the earth, which is not screaming molten hot, but a friggin' waterfall.
I'm just going to assume it's not actually the center of the earth, but rather just a small pocket, maybe in the upper mantle that is protected by magic. I know they said the frickin' core, but I'm just going to ignore that and say it's something else, because that would be stupid to not. So it's either in a pocket dimension or in a little pocket in the mantle. Anyway.
It's like, where's the button? Shut you off. Oh, wish you had an off button. But no, he ends up fighting some giant fucking thing who could talk.
Yeah, basically, I don't remember what they called it, but it's essentially the Kraken. That's what it is.
I kind of, part in my head, wanted to say, when the thing asked him who you are, I wanted him to say, "I'm Arthur Curry, bitch," and just take the trident. But no, he just said, "I'm nobody." And
yeah, because you know, speech thing.
Because he friggin' started the movie by monologuing.
Yeah.
Or Aquaman.
But yeah, monologuing his origin story. But
he grabs the trident and the king's armor becomes his own. Very stylized after the comic book, but has to accentuate all of the ab muscles that he has to show off his abs no matter what armor he's wearing.
I mean, so does, you know, a lot of superheroes. Superman does.
Even though he's in skin-tight spandex.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Power Rangers do that too, except in the newest movie version, but you know, where
Dr. K would say it's not spandex. Dr. K would say it's not spandex.
No, it's too much pink energy.
But then they have a massive fight scene at the end where Orm is trying to take over the crabs because the crabs won't join him. And like freaking every tribe.
And he attacks their weak point for massive damage.
But freaking every kingdom has a trident. Like apparently, it's just the symbol of a king down under the sea.
Well, it's their weapon of choice in the same way that Force uses in Star Wars. Their weapon of choice is a lightsaber, right? You know.
An aggressive weapon for pacifist monks who really shouldn't be needing to fight.
Anyway,
But then Aquaman finally gets, I guess, a measure of revenge and beats the crap out of Orm.
Yeah.
With Willem Dafoe's signature spin the water into a shield technique.
Yeah.
I don't. They didn't even call it anything. It was just spinning his thing into a shield of water.
Yeah.
I would reach for that and spin it around, but I want to hit you. Whack. Good deal. I'm not very good with staffs anymore. Whack. Something like that.
Yeah.
A much better version of that.
Yeah, but then, just as you know, the
Arthur goes to finish him off.
Yeah, then their mother shows up, and it's thankfully they didn't go Martha.
Atlanta.
Said that name.
Atlanta.
Martha.
Atlanta.
Martha.
Atlanta.
Martha. Anyway.
Atlanta. Yeah, friggin' Orm calls himself the Ocean Master because that's a comic book villain name. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And he even tells Aquaman to kill him, which Aquaman won't do because he's like, kill me. That's our way. And Aquaman's like, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not one of you, so he's not willing to kill.
Yeah.
But then he gets named king, and everyone's like, yay! We don't know what we're cheering for, but let's cheer anyway! Oh, and also Dolph Lundgren is this movie as one of the kings.
Yeah, interestingly enough, one a redhead one, the father of the
Mara.
Yeah, of the love interest.
Yeah. Mara, who I commonly name my Tapu Finis after, because they look like mermaids. So. What
about a Primarina?
I don't care about Primarina.
I love Primarina.
I don't give a shit.
Anyway.
But then it ends with basically the scene where it started, because it started where she showed up on the dock, and at the end she shows up on the dock, just now he's a lot older, and she looks basically the same.
Well, no, she's aged too. Like, her hair's gone gray, and she's, you know...
Her hair was barely blonde to begin with. It barely changed.
I noticed the difference, but anyway.
Barely any change. Going from
noticed.
gray to blonde is barely a change.
I noticed. But anyway, whatever.
And then it ends with him
Also
again.
insert reference to Ant-Man 2 here.
Mm-hmm. It also ends with him monologuing again.
Yeah.
The same speech. Basically, he just adds on to it now that he's king. And Aquaman.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from a few, like, eye roll-worthy cliches, this was really good. Like, I'd say almost as good as Wonder Woman.
It stole its ideas completely, almost everything from Black Panther. Like the Black Panther movie. It's replace dead father with potentially dead mother, and it's basically the same story as the Black Panther movie.
Well, no, because the T'Challa was already, you know, he was
not king yet.
No, but he was willing to take on the mantle right from the beginning, and it was someone who was, you know,
his brother,
who wanted. It was a bit different. No, it wasn't the same. There are parallels to be drawn, but there are also parallels to be drawn with Wonder Woman, Thor, you know. So whenever you have the like an advanced, you know, magical civilization with a monarchy, and the movie centers around the king or queen of that monarchy needing to take the position, it's gonna look similar to each other. There have been a few of those in comic book movies.
Both had super advanced technology. Both were separated from the rest of the world. Both were willing to, like, one wanted to take over the world. The other was willing to cooperate with the world to share their technology, or at least they both had bad guys who just stole their technology and wanted to use it against them.
Yeah, but again, it's not just Black Panther. I mean, you can compare that to all sorts of different.
Aquaman is basically DC's Black Panther, at least in the movie universe.
Well, let's wait until Namor. Then we'll see.
I don't even know if they're doing Namor.
Eh. Well, videos we watched say they've hinted at it, but we'll see. But
and Black Manta's still alive. Manta.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we got a sequel date. But hey,
and you team up with a scientist who radically wants to prove Atlantis exists, and no one will take him seriously.
Yeah, I don't know what supervillain he's going to be based on, but I know he's going to be based on somebody. We'll have to look up who he would fit.
I'll throw this like they throw the trident. Whack. 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 Whack.
So, yeah, Aquaman. It was good. It's funny how the...
It somehow took us over a week to see it.
That too, but I mean, well, no, because holidays, right? But no, and we saw Bumblebee first. Anyway,
And Spider-Man.
Yeah, but no, what's interesting is that in the DCEU, it's the characters that nobody thought would ever work on the big screen that worked. And it's the ones that have been tried and true before that failed.
It's as if Zack Snyder doesn't know how to make a movie that's not deep and gritty and lacking any proper character arcs.
And insert what we talked about in our previous review with Bumblebee and Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, in this movie, Zack Snyder was bumped up to the same desk position as Michael Bay was for Bumblebee. So there's your there's something to say in that.
Oh, I just remembered. I wanted to mention that one point during the giant battle in the sea, Aquaman and Mera start making out, and he's just like, in the middle of a fight, he just starts grabbing her ass.
No, but I mean,
dude, really? This is not the time.
And right before that, she was like, we need to stop the fighting now. There's been too much bloodshed. But then they just start making out for like a solid 30 seconds as, underwater fireworks are happening around them. I mean,
people are dying, he's just grabbing ass. I'm like, dude, really? It's not the time.
Wait until the end of the movie.
It's not the time to grab ass.
Do that after
after you save everyone.
Yeah, do that after your, like Aragorn, I've become king thing. Do it then.
And I think I don't know if I actually noticed this, but it looked like Mera's suit kept changing color. Like occasionally it looked green, occasionally it looked aqua blue, and I'm like I don't know if it's just her suit is color changing to her surroundings, but it looked like,
or maybe it's just the lighting. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was a lighting, but oh well. We'll see how well Shazam hopefully can do.
Yeah.
Because Wonder Woman was good because it had a female director and like a female vision for a female character.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that wasn't the only reason it was good, but the fact that Zack Snyder was not directly involved in it was, helped a lot. And
I've seen like fake imagery of like a DVD, like a Blu-ray cover of Justice League Zack Snyder's cut with like dark side in the background in shadow and like I forget the picture, but it's like oh, I don't know who's stupid enough to think that Zack Snyder's cut could have saved Justice League. Or if it even existed. No, what Aquaman's my man, my robot man. Cyborg, mostly robot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
I have an escape one up your sleeve.
Keep it weird.